A 60s rocker whose mom is even more famous than he was. We're talking about Peter Lewis of the band Moby Grape, 805, It's a Beautiful Day Today, Omaha, great songs that they put out, and a band that didn't get their due. But man, in the summer of love, they were a popular group. Peter Lewis's mom was Loretta Young. She won Emmys, she won an Oscar. She starred alongside Clark Gable. But we talk about Loretta Young first, and Peter Lewis talks about his mom on Rock History Music. Actress Loretta Young was born in 1913 and passed away in the year 2000. She was an iconic American actress, known for her elegance and versatility. She began her career as a child actress in silent films and rose to prominence in the 30s and 40s. Young won an Academy Award for Best Actress in her role, The Farmer's Daughter, in 1947, and starred in classics like Come to the Stable in 49 and The Bishop's Wife in 1947. She later transitioned to TV, earning 3 Emmy Awards for The Loretta Young Show. Renowned for her beauty, grace, and strong work ethic, Young left an indelible mark on Hollywood's golden age.
I got out of New York after my mom got me, didn't have to do her show anymore, and so she had a little free time to do her mom routine, which she wanted to do, But I mean, there were demands upon her, being this person who was able to get paid. In those days, it was, if you had a good job, held on to it. My mother knew that because she was very poor when she was growing up. And finally, when she got in the movies and started getting more parts and getting paid, she held on to her like just would not, just like nothing was going to get in that way, not a marriage, not her kids, nothing, and she just held on and got me out of New York. Anyway, so she wasn't working and had enough money not to work for, so, and she did want her kids back. It was very sad. My parents probably wouldn't have separated now if they're both dead. There's not much you can do, but it was one of those scenes where people they just they have to blame it on somebody. It gets out of control when things start to get out of control. When there's too much pressure on you, I think that you can't hang in there with the. You have to respond to it, I mean, in some way. And some people take drugs, some people get in big fights or whatever they do, or some people do. This is not new, this everybody is. That's the crucible. I mean, if you can deal with that pressure you get when you start moving through changing in a way that puts you in the spotlight, especially, the pressure of being somebody that everybody is aware of. In other words, you don't know everybody that knows you anymore. Mm-hmm. So, and their preconception of you is really, I mean, who are you really? The actors are the first people that figure out, well, I'm who everybody thinks I am, Yeah. And they deal with like that preconception with a certain insight that makes them, able to deal with it. It's like they can play a part in a movie. And why? Because they can deal with the character people want to be.
When I interview actors, I don't do too much, but it'll happen. They present themselves in a very different way than musicians. Musicians talk usually in the bottom. Their tongue is at the bottom of their mouth. Their shoulders relax. Hey man, how's it going? Especially if I've interviewed them a few times. Hey John, what's going on? Actors, on the other hand, present a lot more during interviews because that's just part of the package.
I think they have. I'm not an actor myself. I could never be an actor because I can't take direction. I mean, if an actor is somebody that's learned how to take direction and be somebody that they're not. I mean, that's a heavy trip. That's trusting somebody, that you're, like, because to make it look real, it's got to be real. I mean, you have to become that character, I think. That's what I've seen going on with them, And a musician is like, I watched the Neil Young Heart of Gold thing last night, and a great DVD did in Nashville. And, Neil's sort of an actor. He gets it. He gets he's Neil Young, you know, when he's out there, he knows who people thinks, he knows what people think is cool about him, and he can deal with it, and that's how come Neil is famous, or
But
a survivor. Let me put it that way.
what was the advantages for you being a youngster, and your mother being? I mean, your mother won an Academy Award, was nominated for other Academy Awards.
Yeah.
She did well in her craft.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, she did. She was a great actress.
Yeah.
You know. Um, but like I say, that being a great actress means you can stay in control of your own character. And I think an actor or a musician has to do that too. I mean, that's part of show business. And they may be more relaxed because their whole thing is to try to stay in the moment.
Yeah.
An actor sort of like the timing thing is it's so a musician is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a bunch of polyrhythms to deal with in between those beats. And that's what you're doing. You're sort of dividing up those polyrhythms in a certain way to make a song, and then sing something that's kind of puts it all together, like makes you feel like you've done something creative. And I think the actor thing is more if like the timing exists between him and the other actors, or her and the other actors, there's a timing thing. You got to wait for a response before you can go any further. And that tension it creates, is like, either you build up or let it go. It's like you're very sensitive, to time is sort of I would say time is a force that we create with our consciousness, and it's like, it's like people they want it just to be there at time. They think it's because everybody says, well, there was yesterday, there must be a tomorrow, they're a thing. But so, to get right in the middle of that, get in the moment, it might not be possible. What you're doing is you're experiencing some kind of weird process of changing from the old you to somebody else, but the somebody else is the unknown, and so there could be a fear of that, or but always when you read anything I read, especially I've been reading Tolstoy lately, and he's great because he describes how the way you deal with that your predicament, your temporal existence, is that you're in a process of constantly changing, but the future is not known. So it could be scary if you're at war. It would be, or if you're in a parlor and where women are talking over current events, it's still like they're deciding who people are. Their characters are decided in a drawing room if you're in a civilized company or something. Or when Napoleon tries to get Russia, they got to go out there. The guys got to go out there and prove their character on a battlefield, which means, like, it's like, that death's out there, I mean, you could die, it's not like theoretical. And so whether you're willing to stand your ground or whatever it is, and that's kind of the situation we're stuck with in life. I mean, I think that's why when babies come into this world, they don't come in laughing. It's like I'm just one of those babies that, I had a premonition of having a sort of sad, with sadness, premonition, you know. I don't know, I don't know. I
You
think
know,
people have a premonition. Some people have a premonition of being happy, and they're happy people, you know.
talk to a lot of
And
people who have had famous parents through the years, and it goes from one end to the other about what lifestyle was, but they all say one thing that you just said: the happy
yeah,
show. The of I mean, the audience, obviously, some of them, most of them know Loretta Young was your mom. Um, were when did your parents split? They split, right? And
yeah.
what happened to you at that point? And how old were you?
I flipped out. I mean, I had to go to New York with my dad. My mom was, quote, busy doing her TV show. So, and, I mean, it was a real, it just was a bummer for me to have to go to this school back there. My dad put us in this school where all these rich kids went. And we were in military school. In military school, it's like you can be a complete dumbass and get through military school. I mean, the kind of military school I was going to, as long as you were in there to be taught how to behave or how to take orders, and the rest of it, as long as you don't act up, you can be really dumb and you don't really care. You just don't get promoted, in military school. Okay. So all of a sudden I go to New York with my dad and my brother, and he puts me into school with all these guys who've been studying Latin and French from the first grade. And I couldn't keep up with it. And so I developed a what they described as a school phobia, you know? So, I flipped out. I couldn't handle it because it was a very small class, and all these kids, I would ask a question, they'd laugh at me, and so I got like this weird inferiority complex, and the more dumb I was, the worse they treated me. Those kids, I don't know, I didn't do good on the eastern seaboard, where I think
Where did you get that? Where did you get that stay in your own character? Where did that come from?
just my mom.
That's amazing.
No, it's simple.
It is actually, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's the same for everybody. It's not any different for an actor or a musician.
Make sure you comment on our video, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. And remember, if you want to make a donation to the channel, there's a PayPal link at the very top of the description. We'd appreciate that. Also, you can join our Patreon, get early access to all our videos. We have a swag store where you can buy all kinds of stuff with Rock History music on them, or Rock History book if you're a Canadian, Rock History Canada. These are all channels we have. T-shirts, caps, T-tops, and coats, and a lot more. I'm John Bowden. This is Rock History Music. Take care of yourself.